In 1988, one of the strangest court cases of all time concluded with a resounding victory for liberty, freedom of expression, and anyone who likes saying "fuck you" to major corporations. John Fogerty of Creedence Clearwater Revival was sued for releasing his 1984 single, The Old Man Down the Road, which sounded too much like Run Through the Jungle, released in 1970 when he was a member of CCR. Fantasy Records was the owner of all CCR material, having had the band signed what amounted to the worst record deal in the industry at the time, giving Fantasy rights to all the music produced by CCR and requiring multiple albums from the band. John Fogerty's lawyers had a stellar defense setup, however. Just let Johnny play guitar on the witness stand. The songs certainly sound stylistically the same because the same fucking dude wrote them, and all blues songs are pretty similar. The fight was over the main riff from Run Through the Jungle, a descending blues pattern of G sharp, G, F, D, A, C resolving into C. Old Man Down the Road features a similar descending blues pattern from A, G, E, A resolving to G. While the two sound the same, when John plays the two riffs with his signature style and sound, when I play them here, you can see they are not the same riff. Also, using that minor third step in blues to make a court case shows Fantasy knows fuck all about music, since every blues scale uses that step. It's half of what makes blues blues, with the signature half steps following that step on the way up the scale. So every blues song sounds the fucking same. The case ended in John's favor, with the jury ruling essentially, you can't fucking plagiarize yourself, which I'm about to do now. Here's my updated guide on how to make your season start great again. 1. Find some friends. This is more about quality of life. You will play more if you like your class. If your class magic finds and gets an early start, great. If you're a diehard Zeal Paladin, you're gonna have a bad time. Find some friends or people with similar schedules to facilitate more playtime. Number 2, have a plan. I saw a guy once asking how much a low was going for in general chat. His name was some generic Frenzy Barb 69 nonsense, and when this poor fellow found out a low was around 100 Worldstone shards, he was quite upset. I hope he rage quit, and hasn't come back for being such a moron he thought he could jump in on an expensive class and just start building what I can only assume was a fortitude. Frenzy Barb 69 didn't have a plan. Maybe you should. I recommend you build 3 classes over a season. Your first is a cheap, effective Magic Find, magic-based class. Your second is a fun, but still mostly effective Time Sink class. Here's where you're not being optimal, but this bitch keeps you logging in. Third is Elizabeth Olsen. It's perfect, expensive, and has an asshole that tastes like chocolate-covered strawberries. Number 3, I want you to find some damn friends. That shitty part of your class works better when someone with cold damage clears those physical immunes you can't touch. Number 4, pick a class that starts off well. Now, I know, you were the best Frenzy Barb from 2004, and all the servers quaked at the sight of Assbeater entering that Duels Now game. But be honest, when you were that guy, you had a fortune built over time. And be more honest, when you took a break and came back, you spent $10 on some Chinese website and got geared, didn't you? Funding the oppression of Taiwan for your mere gaming enjoyment. For shame. Either way, with this mod, we have a quality of life change that cannot be ignored. Magic classes fucking teleport. I don't care how much you love Barb and mirrored your build after the 3 dudes clearing Ubers within a week with Stonecrusher Barbs. You ain't them. Use is you. You suck. You're slow, you didn't craft a plan, and your daughter has ballet on Wednesday nights that you can't miss, or she'll end up on Girls Do Porn. Grab a starter class that's Trapper, any Necro, Wind Druid, it does physical damage, so it's really good, or Sork if you know what you're planning to run. All of these can be converted, by the way, into your second class with about 10 high runes of investment into an infinity, and Wind Druid is even cheaper than that by getting a Merc with Gavel of Pain. Again, that physical damage. My advice is check out the inevitable preseason poll on what people are planning to run and pick the least used class. Remember, this bitch is an MF workhorse. It's for the grind, not the fun. All these classes rely on plus skills and have teleport or an OP speed skill. meaning A, you can start out easily early with basic solo self-found skill gear and move into skillers easily. Expanding stashes means stacking MF charms, or expanded stashes means stacking MF charms is easy at the cost of resistances early season. These guides are still relevant, so just look up the class changes when you find something that you like, and just type in PD2 wiki and you'll find the class guides. Number 5, find some fucking friends. Dude, reach out on the Discord. It's easy. Do it. 6, execute the plan and don't wander. This game plays like Protoss from StarCraft. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're subhuman trash and you can stop reading. Protoss always works by building a small, fairly expensive units that get a lot done. And by endgame, the Protoss death rate ball is an unstoppable juggernaut unless you've got some Korean Zerg who can micro like he's plugged into the Matrix. So, for example, I'm going to be playing Necro this season. Why? Well, everyone played it last season. Even though it's still going to be good, and a lot of people will play it, I expect a huge drop-off from the last season's 8-week-long Gulf for Skillers bullshit that was going on. And my Elizabeth Olsen class last season was Summon Amazon. It was odd, weird, and expensive. You know how much a 20 FCR 15 max ring is with res is? I don't either. I bought one for about a burr in item-to-item trading with a friend, but I wouldn't sell that ring for 40 high runes because it fit my Elizabeth Olsen perfectly, like a lingerie nightie with John Stamos' face imprinted on it. You may end up feeling a connection to your Elizabeth Olsen because she's unique, and even though map after map is the same face-sitting session, your dick just doesn't get bored of it. Every time I switched to another class and got bored, I knew I built a unique, fun class that kept me going back to her. It's like finding a hooker with beer-flavored nipples. You know you can get any hooker, but you're willing to pay a little more for your favorite gal, and she keeps you satisfied more than the others. 7, find some motherfucking friends. I get it. You're insecure. That girl broke your heart years ago. It's fine. She was okay looking. She was a fucking airhead, and compared to your wife, her head game was subpar at best. That might be specific to me. But get over yourself. Find some buddies. Seriously. Where do I take my first magic find, magic-based class? Well, anywhere. If you're clearing hell cows, you're doing okay. However, mix in Shank, that asshole above Shank, I forget his name, Trav, Rakinishu, who has a better loot table than you think, if you're super weak. Obviously, getting the trio of Andy, Meth, and Big D is ideal. Hopefully, they'll have bail changes, and you can go run him as well. But not everyone has eyes, I've found, and those can be hard for some people. But running what you enjoy to make magic finding less strenuous on a class you picked for its cheapness and efficiency is what gets you through it. You know, I ran a set rotation of Cows, Andy, the level 85 area in Lost City, Trav, Meth, Diablo, Shank, and the asshole above Shank. It works for me because immunes weren't an issue. If you went Fire, cut out maybe Trav in that level 85 area in Lost City. Add in the Pit from Act 1. Tailor your runs to you and your plan where you want to go before choosing. It takes 15 minutes of research, and even the YouTubers get this one right, so check there too. You can find better guides on this, though. Look it up. So, why have you not found a friend yet? Seriously, you're still reading this, giggling at all the fucking swearing, aren't you? No. You need to go find a friend. Is it your dad? Did he leave early in life? What the fuck is your problem? Find some friends. Maps. This is where most of you fuck up. So, the big hubbubaloo came when maps had a change in the base drop rates from set players 5 down to players 3. First things first, don't stop using your Magic Find starter. Break up the grind a bit. This season is a marathon, not a sprint. Unless you're killing D-Clone early already. Then go get laid. Here's the list of level 85 areas you could be using. Again, PD2 Wiki, go to the areas section. That second character you built should be efficient even if it's not your favorite. I can't believe I need to say this, and I won't share the direct messages I got 2 seasons ago on this, but you can upgrade maps to rare, guys. Use your built-in loot filters. It says it on the item. Go to Anya, roll maps using gold you found from your Magic Find character to roll high-density, high Magic Find Tier 1 maps. This is going to be better than Chaos. Well, I have a script here I'm reading. It might not be better than Chaos runs if they update. We'll cut that part out. You should struggle with tier 2s and 3s, and they might not be doable depending on the efficiency of the class you've chosen. So here's the link for immunes that exist on each map. Cold character struggle on almost all maps unless you're my Ice Vault fuck machine. You should be looking at dumping your first real high runes into your Merc after tier 1s too, because eventually you need to do something about those immunes. Don't keep trying to get that perfect GG gear when your character can't clear 80% of the endgame content. Settle a little bit and you'll realize it wasn't settling at all. So find the map that corresponds to what you do best. Keep the density as high as you can go without getting ass rammed 4 times every map. Remember, the density is what matters. Everything else is gravy. There is no way, statistically or anecdotally, you should be anything other than middle class in PD2 if you're clearing 2 to 5 maps a day. And when you find something, use your trade guide and list it reasonably. We're trying to make money here, not build an ivory throne of GG items sitting on mules for 3 weeks to get that extra 10% out of them. If that Thunderstroke you found is stacking at Vex, sell it for a gull. It's fine, you have better things to do. And to be honest, now I see why things get overpriced because people don't have better things to do. Ubers is generally dead money. By the time most of us get to it, we've drained that pony already, it's done. Crafting, rares, and the trade site. The Crafting League showed us 2 things. There are some of you who don't do a lot of research because you're a casual gamer, and there's also a lot of you who don't do a lot of research because you're obstinate and use casual as an excuse for lack of game knowledge. I'm not trying to insult anyone. This is just a fact from the lack of knowledge around the expanded crafting systems of PD2, and it was exposed by the Crafting League. Now, I encourage all the casual gamer dads out there trudging through daily diaper changes with heavy injections of Cold Coors Light to start your research now with 2 months until Season 5. The Crafting League exposed a massive gap in the entire PD2 player base in that all of us used to neglect crafting for the sake of boring known quantities of uniques. We all prefer the old-fashioned handy that we know works because the idea of a playful finger in the butt makes us cringe, even though if you tried it, you would like it. With that said, we've now seen that crafting in the perfect situation beats out the best of GG uniques. If anyone saw the Crafting League showcase from April 17th, I think Liger had the best bow to be ever made in the game with amp damage. It was like 500 ED and 4 sockets. That bow should have been around every season, statistically, but it wasn't. Pull up your crafting schematics and start using crafts to A, level if you're casual, because they're good shit, and B, get GG endgame gear if you're rolling a bunch of small runes you don't know what to do with. Blood and hit power crafts are common friends to throw barbs, but every Amazon on the server should be crafting safety bows with every soul and emerald found. Every mage should be casting caster stuff. Every, blah blah, look up the schematics and get to it. So 12, too long didn't read in a single paragraph. You can manage a damn paragraph, can't you? You better. In general, check out the PD2 wiki, or this guide for rough maps on how to start your season. Check out YouTube for in-depth guides on anything, really. I won't link their names because I don't know if they want to be associated with my foul-mouthed ass, but there's a great meme builder who posts all the time on the subreddit for odd items and builds. There's a great general knowledge guy with one of those happy-go-lucky communities for general builds who post here a lot too. And YouTube search Tristram Metal Cover for a guy who has, I think, some of the best builds for budget Ubers on YouTube right now. And if any of the hardcore players aren't watching the guy getting decloned first every season, you should know his name. I don't know why you're playing hardcore at all if you're not following that guy. So if you are a casual gamer, start your research now and spend 10% of what little gaming time you have each day on learning something new about PD2, and your Season 5 will go much, much better. Now, if you've made it here and you're still poor, you've made a decently quick magic finder, you've got your cheap map clearer, and you've started saving for your Elizabeth Olsen strawberry-flavored booty hole, then it's just proof that Donald Trump is right, and poor people deserve what they get. I'm posting this on Reddit, so I assume that will motivate you to get out there and fucking do something about it. See you guys.